Hello and welcome to Positive Life Principles. This has been a difficult week for Americans, both in Boston and the tragedy in West Texas. Our hearts and our prayers go out to those who were affected by these tragedies. Perhaps you've thought in your mind, how would I handle a crisis situation? And so today I want to address just some thoughts on how to handle a crisis or an unexpected tragedy, whether it's just something that you're facing during a difficult day or whether it's a life-altering tragedy. The first thing we always want to do in response to a crisis is to pray. Is to look up and look to God and recognize that He has not left us, that we are not alone. To look to Him and say, Father, help me. Help me to have strength. Help me to have wisdom to know what to do. The Bible promises us that if anyone lacks wisdom, we can ask God, and He will give generously to all who ask without finding fault. So let us ask Him, Father, help me to know what to do in this situation. Guide me and give me the strength that I need to get through this. And of course, we pray for others who are affected by the crisis as well. The second thing I want to encourage you to do is to think. Now, I know that might sound elementary, but often in a crisis, we react out of anger or fear. We react out of emotion instead of thinking and responding wisely. Proverbs reminds us that wise people think before they react. So we want to think carefully. We want to step back and take a broader look at the whole situation. How will my response affect others? How can I help others who are also affected by this tragedy? How will my response affect this situation long term? So we want to think carefully as we respond. Sometimes it helps to step back and look at the bigger picture, take several deep, calming breaths, and then objectively look at the situation, asking God for guidance the entire way. Then the third thing I want to encourage you to do is to take a first step forward. Do not be frozen in fear, but after you've stepped back and looked at the situation and thought it through carefully, then take a first positive step forward, whether that's to help another person or a first step forward toward a solution to your crisis. Don't be frozen in fear, but rather first step forward. Often we are afraid to take that first step because we think, well, I don't know what I'm going to do on the next few steps. I don't know what I'm going to do long term. Sometimes we won't know the whole picture, but taking a first wise, positive step helps us to be proactive rather than reactive with our emotions. So, PTF, pray, think, and take a first step forward, a positive step forward in the right direction toward a solution or toward helping others. So I hope that helps you as you think about a crisis. The first thing we want to do is get rid of the fear by praying and asking God for strength and peace and wisdom. I hope you have a good week this week, and as you think about the victims of the tragedies we face who face tragedies this week, let us be in prayer for them. The Bible reminds us the Lord directs the steps of the godly. He delights in every detail of their lives. Though they stumble, they will not fall, for He holds them by the hand. Remember that God is holding your hand as you walk through a tragedy or a difficult situation. Look to Him for wisdom, for strength, and for guidance as you walk along the way. Thanks for joining me, and I look forward to seeing you next week here at Positive Life Principles.